State of the Union. Yay! Boo! Maybe you were watching the Nuggets and the Celtics. Yay! Boo! Pretty good stuff, though, especially if you are a fan of the defending champ. Good morning to you, and boy, happy Friday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC, and DeCito. Glad you're with us this morning on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. How you living?
What it do?
You all right back there, Nugget fan?
I am fantastic.
Yeah, I'll bet you are. For the second time this week, Jason Tatum had the ball in his hands. Chance to put the Celtics up in the closing seconds. And for the second time this week, Jason Tatum, who basically says, I want to be the face of this league, and I'm the next coming. And didn't happen. Celtics down 2. He missed a wide open 3 with 45 seconds to go. And it was a Nikola Jokic 32-point, 12 rebound, 11 assist, triple-double. Aaron Gordon had a good game, 115, 109. Your Chicky Nuggets beat the Celtics last night in a significant game.
Yeah, one of the things that it's impressive when you watch the Denver Nuggets is Michael Malone doesn't mess around. He's not sitting here overthinking a regular season game, not letting players go. Like, he's riding these dudes, and they're in with it. You watch Nikola Jokic play, and he's huffing and puffing, but he's getting up and down the floor. He doesn't want to come off the court. Like, they understand in that moment, playing the Boston Celtics, what they're playing for at this point in the season. That's evident with that team. And it was a fantastic game because the Celtics, they came roaring back. Drew Holiday hit some big-time threes late, taking advantage of a defense when the Nuggets tried to stash Jokic on him. And then the moment, Jason Tatum missed it because that would have...
The one-handed flush by Gordon. I just
Gordon?
watched again. That one-handed follow, dunk. I mean, just... That was the first time I saw it.
He cocked it down pretty much almost below his shoulder while he's in the air.
Follow.
Gordon was unbelievable last night attacking the glass. It was a great basketball game. And I know a lot of people are saying it, like, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, the Nuggets are the team to beat. They're defending champs. They're the team to beat. But it's like, it still feels like people don't realize how darn good this team is.
You know, remember when they got Aaron Gordon from Orlando? Remember when they, like, was it 3 years ago now? And I thought it was really significant. And then I really did. I thought it was just a really, really big move. And it turned out in the immediate not to pay off. And I think, Nikola Jokic is the guy, right? And Michael Porter Jr. has been terrific. I think, after Jokic and Murray, he has been as significant and as steady and as much of a difference maker as anyone outside those big two on that championship run. I think he's getting better.
It's with Aaron Gordon. He's a guy that was 4th overall pick for Orlando, and he wasn't a face of the franchise type player. Like, he's a very good basketball player, but he's not like, hey, this is going to be our key piece. And we saw, Orlando struggle for a while. Now they're actually figuring out their franchise. I think
Are they
fourth in the Eastern Conference?
Are they 4th?
Orlando is fantastic.
Damn. All right then.
Some respect on the team that
Dude,
no one respects.
I told you it's the most innocuous franchise in sports almost.
But you know what you're talking about, Jeff, because Aaron Gordon is the Nuggets Draymond Green.
That's really good. Yeah, I'm down with that.
He's the 3rd, 4th option at times. He defends. He is uber athletic, just evidence of what he does. And you can switch him 1 through 5 on the floor.
And he guards anybody. You said something about Michael Malone, and he plays players, and these games matter, and they are now one game out of the number 1 spot in the Western Conference. The argument against that is, well, they're going to be tired. We got a big, long playoff season to go, and you got to rest players. I think when you see a game like that, when you see Boston come in, I got no problem with it. And by the way, this is the way he did it last year, and they won a championship. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with Michael Malone, and who the franchise stuck with, who the city seems to love, the players seem to love playing for. And I'll go back to this again. I know I just said it. Oh, by the way, he won a championship last year, doing it this way. And I think the fans appreciate it. I know, look, did I want to watch that game without Jokic and without Murray and without those guys last? No. That's what you wanted to see. Celtics came in, and they came in full bore. Porzingis played, and everybody played, and that's what you want to see. Will guys rest? Will he give them minutes? I don't know. Will they tire down the stretch? We can have this conversation come the middle of May.
And for the Nuggets, they've done this while developing. Last year we saw Christian Brown, a young guy that had his minutes here and there. Peyton Watson was also great last night. Peyton Watson is a dude that's blocking shots left and right. He's hitting open shots in an offense, which you're going to get when you have Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic on the floor. And that's how you find consistency. Like the Nuggets have done a great job. They drafted Jamal Murray. They drafted Jokic. They drafted Michael Porter Jr. And then they're able to supplement that with the Aaron Gordon trade and then continue to add pieces like Reggie Jackson last year. He wasn't a big part of it because he came in late. But Reggie Jackson is a fantastic backup point guard. And you're seeing that last night. He was in buckets in the second half. Like the Western Conference run is going to be crazy this season, but the Nuggets are just as good as they were last year.
Well, and they're healthy right now, which other people aren't. LeBron James left early the other night. Steph Curry leaves a game last night, and the Warriors lose to the Bulls, which is a tough loss for them last night. But they lose to the Bulls 125-122. Steph Curry leaves with what is an apparent ankle injury. No update by the Warriors. After the game, evidently, Curry's foot was in ice. He rolled the right ankle. Late fourth quarter, moved to the basket, limped around the court afterwards, and he left the game. That, I mean, obviously, is insanely significant if that is something that's going to linger. They're right now, I think they were ninth last I looked. They jumped over the Lakers in the play-in game. The other one, Karl Anthony Towns, the report for the number one seed Timberwolves, is going to have surgery on that meniscus. And so as we head down the stretch in the last 20 games, 18 games of the NBA schedule, and you start saying, all right, who's rising to the top? Who do you like? And they'll tell me about everybody in the East except for the number 4 seed, by the way. Everybody in the East except for the 4 seed. Orlando's got a chance, right? The Knicks do. The Heat does. Everybody but the 4 seed. Injuries are significant, and right now the Nuggets are healthy.
Yeah, there's always the aspect of it, the things you can't control. A little bit of luck goes a long way.
All right, how you feeling about your team back there? I mean, that had to be a good one in the DC house.
It was fantastic. I mean, I don't like staying up late. It's like pulling teeth for me. But the Nuggets, they can keep me up a little bit. I'm good. I'm good with that. And you're right, Aaron Gordon, man. He is like kind of down low my favorite right now. He is such a good ad. Just under 3 years ago, I love that comment saying that he's the Nuggets Draymond Green, because that just, you hit the nail on the head, JJ. That was perfect. That I had not thought of that before, but he totally is, and he is that glue guy. This team, man. I just love watching him.
Does it all, doesn't he? I mean, and not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Not afraid. And here's the other thing. You talk about how the city is embracing him. Dude, he was out there drinking beers with fans after the championship. Like, that is special.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. The throwdown, the one-handed putback dunk was, I mean, go find it. Adrian, if we could, honestly, if you go to ESPN's NBA page, it's the first video right there. It's the one highlighted that you've got to see. It says Aaron Gordon throws down unbelievable one-handed putback dunk. Go find it. I mean, we know the dude can jump over stuff, but it's
the last great dunk contest.
and maybe
it was Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine.
It kind of was, huh? I mean, what, you don't like Max McClung? What do you got against CBA short Caucasians? I'm just asking.
I got a problem with Jaylen Brown putting a glove on doing a weak left-handed dunk, thinking that's cool.
That's why he didn't win, dude. That's why he didn't win.
Yeah, that
got to the finals with that mess.
He did get to the finals, and this was Jokic spun, ball came off of the front of the rim, and Gordon came from weak side, and jumped. His head was about at the rim, pulled it with his right hand, about his waist, one-handed, and tomahawked it. Is that a fair description of it? And find it. It's just phenomenal.
I look like DeAndre Jordan after that dunk.
Yeah. Just going, oh my goodness. Oh! Yeah. You can do that on your Nerf rim, on your bedroom door. You'll put a hole through your door, by the way.
You tear your rotator cuff.
Probably. Yeah. 505-246-0610. We're here for you today. Lots and lots to do. Boy, do we have NBA stuff to talk about. With Kenny Thomas, we'll kick it with Kenny coming up at 9 o'clock. 11-year NBA veteran, former Lobo great, and the host of, he's like the other guy on Lobo Live with Kenny Thomas and the Brandon Ortega show, right? Okay. He's
It's
the
not
other
an easy
guy.
gig, man.
That's a
Brandon's
hard.
doing a good job.
It's a hard gig. To host the show, you mean?
When you've never done it.
Yeah, fair enough. You used to host that show. You didn't have a Kenny Thomas.
No, I didn't.
You just had all your buddies down at the casino at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
JJ used to do that show, man, down at the Downs Casino over on Louisiana Central.
What is the Downs like at 1 a.m.?
Just how you'd imagine.
On a Tuesday night, they get beat in San Diego, or they win in San Jose, or they win in whatever. And the game starts at 9 and it ends at 11:15. And if they win, like Rob loves doing post game shows now, and he's really, this is nothing against him, right? But when
they were
win,
a little longer back then.
They did some post game shows, and especially when they won. Rob enjoyed talking about, and I don't blame him, man. I mean, this is nothing against him. So JJ would hit the air at about midnight on a Tuesday night at the Downs, where he'd be back in here. We'd be down there at 7 a.m. Right, and you get Lance. God bless Lance. Right, he would call you. You get a few callers after that.
Yeah, not the same energy for the basketball of the Paul Weir era.
Call-in shows after home games work way better than road games because people are in their cars. Right, you got 15,000 people rolling out of the pit, sitting in traffic, going home. They want to hear the post-game show. They want to hear. So they'll call. A game that ends on Tuesday night that's on the road, and you just roll over, turn off the TV, and you go to bed. And JJ didn't get as much of that. So those were, I mean, God bless him for doing it. Those were some days, man.
Back in the day.
Yeah, exactly what you would expect. So we'll do that with Kenny, and we'll get into Lobos basketball tomorrow. A big one at Utah State, final one of the regular season. Utah State playing for a conference championship. And I heard Richard Pitino on Lobo Talk last night said, hopefully they got enough. I mean, they got to share. Hopefully they'll rest their players, and I don't think they're resting their players, man. They're going for it all tomorrow. But when we come back, there's some significant movement next year, JJ, in the schedule. If you recall, the Lobos did not play San Jose State twice. They didn't get the Spartans here. You didn't get to see old Tim Miles coming in the pit. You did not go to Fresno. You did, but the Lobo men did not this year. That is going to change. Utah State didn't have to play at Nevada or get UNLV in their gym. It kind of feels a little different. What's going to be different and why? And is it a good thing? We'll tell you that next, because it's changing and it will affect what you're able to do in the non-conference. That's coming up next. Remember, we're going to Vegas next week. We will be there for the conference tournament. JJ and the ladies have their first game on Monday. What time you play? 2:30, is that right? Did we decide?
Did we decide? No, it's 6 p.m. Pacific, so 7 Mountain Time.
5 o'clock, that's right. 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 5 o'clock out there. They'll play the winner of the San Jose State game on Monday. Lobos, we don't know when they'll play yet, either Wednesday or Thursday, but either way, the show's going to be there. Thanks to the sponsors, the partners, who make sure that we are there to bring that content to you. Enchanted Mechanical, the heating and cooling doctor. Airport parking, easier, quicker, smarter. Coleman Vision, perfect game. DSI Document Solutions Incorporated, New Mexico. Boost your productivity and reduce your costs with DSI. And Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for more than 50 years. I got a text from Ralph in San Diego. He's going to be there, and he says, "Dude, Frontier Restaurant's sponsoring your. Are you bringing the cinnamon rolls? Are you bringing the Frontier rolls?" Which is actually totally fair request, isn't it?
Yes.
If I call Shannon or Dorothy over there, I'll bet we can get cinnamon rolls, we'll get Frontier rolls to go. I mean,
I will gladly take some if with the team as well, if they'd like to.
With the team as well.
Send some with us
I
tomorrow.
bet they would do that. All right, when we come back, the Mountain West is changing their scheduling. They are going from 18-game to a 20-game conference schedule. Why and what that means and what that will do to your non-con. That's non-conference schedule. Next, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Show that shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you.
Regular season tomorrow for Lobo basketball. 6:30 tip over on News Radio KKOB. 6 o'clock pregame from Logan, Utah. The D. Smith Spectrum. Is that what it's called?
D. Glenn Smith.
I forgot Glenn. D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Sorry. Utah State has already clinched a share of first place in the Mountain West Conference, going for an outright championship. Lobos hoping that Boise State can beat San Diego State tonight. If that happens and the Lobos go in tomorrow and beat Utah State, Lobos get off that 6th seed, will get a bye in the first round, and wouldn't have to play until Thursday. They'd be the 5 seed. If San Diego State wins tonight, so you are rooting hard if you are a Lobo fan. You are rooting hard for Boise State to beat the Aztecs tonight in San Diego. If that happens, then you've got an opportunity. That game is what time is that? I'm going to guess it's late. That is a 8 o'clock Fox Sports 1 game. I don't even see a spread on it yet. Who do you think's favorite? San Diego State by 3.5 or something? Would you say 2.5? Aztecs, yeah. I think, are still unbeaten at home. Okay, if Aztecs win tonight, Lobos are locked into playing on Wednesday. They will be the 6th seed and the 6th seed will play the late game. That's 4 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock here on Wednesday. Okay, against the 11th seed. That's the last place team. If Colorado State would lose to Air Force on Saturday, or if they win. So if they if bottom line is, if the Lobos lose at Air Force, they're probably going to be the 7, right? They're the 7th seed if Colorado State wins at Air Force and the Lobos lose. And UNLV beats Nevada. Well, I think, who do you think's going to win the Nevada UNLV game?
Toss up.
So if the Aztecs win tonight and the Lobos win tomorrow, Lobos are the 6th seed. Aztecs lose tonight, Lobos win tomorrow, Lobos are the 5 seed. Aztecs win tonight, Lobos lose tomorrow, Colorado State wins, and Nevada wins, Lobos are the 6th seed. Aztecs win, Lobos lose, Colorado State wins, and UNLV wins, Lobos are the 7th seed. Stand by. You're anywhere between 5, 6, and 7. You get all that? I don't expect that you did. Just tune in on, you'll know on Saturday night. You'll know where you are. And the game, you just want to win. I mean, that's the bottom line. But you want San Diego State to get beat tonight. And then after that 8:30 game on Saturday night, you'll know. All right, the conference is going to a 20-game schedule. This has been bandied about for a while. Steve Fisher, the former San Diego State coach, was a guy who was really vocal about not wanting to do this. In fact, it's an 18-game schedule now with 11 teams. So obviously you don't play all other teams twice. There are 2 teams that you only play once. For New Mexico this year, they didn't get to play the 2 bottom teams twice. Well, it's kind of a disadvantage for them, right? And they didn't have to go to Fresno, and San Jose State didn't come to the pit. Now, it's just that you don't know who's going to be good, and you don't know who's not. I mean, you have an idea, but I mean, it's just the way the schedule is. Utah State, who is going to finish at least in a tie for first place, did not have to go to Nevada and play Reno, or go to Reno and play Nevada, who is really good, and they didn't have UNLV come to their place, and UNLV is really good. The 2 hottest teams in the league right now, right? Nevada's won 10 of 12, UNLV's won 10 of 11. Obviously, a scheduling advantage for Utah State, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the league is getting rid of that. San Diego State's former coach Steve Fisher used to be very vocal about this, and as they were growing the brand at San Diego State, basically said, look, and this was the Gonzaga argument in the West Coast Conference, we need to have more opportunities to play non-conference games. We want to play other people. We want to play national games. That's what so they went to Gonzaga. They played Washington. They played BYU. And you're looking at me like, yeah, whatever. But that was their argument.
I'm not saying whatever today.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying go Crimea River. You and Boise State can sit at a table and act like the Mountain West is trying to
hold you back,
which they're not. You just don't get any free victories. All the Aztecs do, guess what? You don't play Point Loma Nazarene or University of St. Catherine.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And your schedule's the same.
And that's true. Now everybody plays one or 2 of those games, right? But and Point Loma they play every year. It's right there in San Diego. But yeah, Fair enough. What happened is the other schools were having problems scheduling like San Diego State was. First of all, nobody was going to Laramie. Nobody wanted to come to the Pit, right? And so they couldn't do it. The other thing is now that the conference has built itself up, the argument is, and I think it's a real argument, you have way more resume-building opportunities in your league than in most cases you have an opportunity outside. Meaning, if you look at every day, there's 7 out of these 10 teams, or at least 6 of them. 6 of them are quad 1, and then UNLV, which is by the end maybe a quad 2, right? So as the league got better, more respected, just better, the thought is amongst the people who make the decisions that it's better to build a multi-bid league by playing 20 games. That's what they're going to do. So everybody's going to play everybody twice.
Is this team, as long as they do what they have to do, and it doesn't always mean having to play a daunting non-conference schedule.
You're talking about New Mexico.
Like New Mexico. Okay. Because it's going to be a mix. There's going to be some teams like Boise State that do play that really tough strength of schedule that it doesn't bring them down. They win enough. They come in and they're good. Or San Diego State's non-conference schedule versus, the other ones that we've seen, like New Mexico coming in with a really high net, beating people, not great strength of schedule non-conference, but it allows you to have a bunch of quad 1, quad 2 games in conference. So there's ways to work this system. I am just so tired of these fan bases thinking the Mountain West is just out to destroy Boise State and San Diego State with every decision that is made.
Well, I don't
that
know
was
that
all Aztec fans were doing yesterday. It's like they're like, we can't wait to be out of this conference. Can't wait till the Pac-12 scoops us up and moves on. Like, what do you think is going to change when you go
Oregon
there?
State, Washington State every day. I know.
Like, it just means you don't get 2 free wins on your schedule.
Yeah.
Like, take out Point Loma and University of St. Catherine, and you play the exact same schedule. What are you whining about?
And they could even still play those schools because everybody does, man. Like the Lobos had theirs against Eastern New Mexico,
but they're acting like now you have a 20-game conference schedule. You're not going to be in that MTE where you played your 3 neutral site games against St. Mary's, Washington, and Cal. I wasn't a home and away series.
Yeah. So
like you're not going to get BYU on the schedule with Grand Canyon.
Essentially, the non-conference schedule will go from 13 games to 11, and San Diego State, to your point, cannot play. Maybe they don't play Long Beach State, or maybe they they don't play. Well, you see, San Diego's in the Big West. Their non-conference schedule: Cal State, Fullerton, and BYU, Long Beach State, St. Mary's, Washington, Cal. They played Point Loma, Nazarene, and UC San Diego. Almost lost the UC San Diego game. Lost at Grand Canyon. UC Irvine, who's going to win the Big West, won by a point. St. Catherine and Stanford, and Gonzaga. It's really good, right? So who are you not playing? And by the way, if you don't play Long Beach State or Fullerton or UC San Diego or Point Loma, they usually play USD, and they didn't play them either. You're getting better games in conference this year. Almost every game you played in conference was better. Boise State, and you alluded to Boise State's non-conference. Don't play Vanguard, dude. They play Vanguard. San Francisco's a good game. Clemson's a good game. Virginia Tech's a good game. VCU's a good game. Butler's a good game. St. Mary's a good game. North Texas should have been a good game. They didn't have to play Western Oregon and Northwestern State. They played Cal State Fullerton. Washington State's a tournament team. Utah Valley was a finalist in the NIT last year. It's a good non-conference schedule.
It's not destroying your non-conference schedule. I don't understand why.
It's just 2 less opportunities is what it is.
Yeah, and it's 2 less opportunities to play a non-Division I basketball team. Yeah. Where you don't just get to coast and have an easy week. I know everyone does it, but that's the thing you change. Don't go out there and be like, oh, now we can't.
I can't play Colorado State Pueblo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can't play them. All right. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. That's where you can get us today. Colorado State's non-conference. Louisiana Tech, who's going to win the Conference USA. Wright State, Northern Colorado, Kansas City. Boston College out of the ACC. 8th-ranked Creighton. Colorado, who's probably a tournament team. Washington could be a tournament team. Denver, in city. St. Mary's been leading, ranked team. Colorado State, Pueblo, Loyola Marymount, not Adams State. Well, you don't play those two in-state games against that, but you want to. See, that's the other part of it. Well, but you want to give the in-state guys a chance, Colorado State, Pueblo, and Adams State.
Don't want to give them a chance.
Well, they get to come to your
just
place.
Want
when Western,
an easy game.
You get an easy game. Yeah, and everybody does it, though. And you're saying just get rid of those. Yeah.
Or just do one.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I don't know how you feel about that. The other part is like who did everybody miss, right? Like when I say miss, who did you not play twice? I'm looking at San Diego State. I'm trying to. It's hard to run through this whole thing. Who they didn't play twice, but it looks like
4 of the last 8 years they haven't had to go to Laramie.
They didn't go to Wyoming. Yeah, and they've been pretty vocal about it. And it sounds like the league's kind of said, "All right, fine, you don't have to go to Laramie." I know.
Really? The Mountain West just out to get the good programs, just out to destroy San Diego State, out to destroy Boise State football. That's just what the conference is.
My alma mater's fan base has that geographic arrogance that they shouldn't have to go anywhere, and they do. They and I've told you that for years. I'm well aware of that, and I even think they're well aware of it. There's this geographical arrogance that they're holding this league together, and with all due respect, they need to win tonight to avoid the play-in game. Now, they went to the national championship game last year, too, which is better than anybody in this league's ever done. But there is a little bit of an arrogance there that, well, what are you going to do without us? Well, we'll be just fine, just like we were without BYU and without Utah, without TCU, without everybody else.
I just think it's funny that the assumption that going to 20 games, it's a direct shot at San Diego State. And
is that how their fan base felt?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
This direct shot at San Diego State. The Aztecs need to take their NCAA tournament money and leave the Mountain West and go to the Pac-12, which essentially would be the Mountain West.
They don't get to take their money with them.
That's what they're saying. And Mark Ziegler's been writing columns about that. And
how they can take their money?
No, it's how it's not fair that teams that earn more money for the conference don't get to keep more money.
Well, I mean, there's models on that. That's a conversation. That is a conversation, not just in this league. That's a conversation in every league. Should the teams who make more bowl money, more college football playoff money, more NCAA money, should they keep a bigger slice of that pie? And that's a fair conversation. You don't think so?
I think it's a worthy conversation, but also if you don't want to just go over the top and take away opportunities for the rest of your league, because then that brings you down.
Yeah. By the way, what do you think of Brian Dutcher, the San Diego State coach, getting a new contract? He's the highest employee in the California State University system. He's making $2.3 million a year, a 5-year deal that starts this year. I mean, it feels like, okay. I mean, that's the guy they want to keep him. And
he's going to be their head coach until he doesn't want to be there.
Just like Steve Fisher was. I mean, dude, if you can have 30 years of stability like that, it is beyond crazy. All right, 505-246-0610. So how do you feel about the 20-game schedule? Does it matter? It's less games. I mean, for New Mexico, like, I mean, I don't know what you think. What games are you peeling off your schedule? I mean, there's games that you're probably saying, all right, we didn't need, I mean, pick one, right? But are you good with it? You're going to play everybody twice from here on out. Your schedule was Texas Southern and St. Mary's. UT Arlington, you went on the road, played Toledo, Rice, and Pepperdine in that MTE. Louisiana Tech, New Mexico. This is where the New Mexico State twice conversation is really going to come in.
It's going to heat up.
Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, UC Irvine, Eastern New Mexico. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Center.
This report is brought to you.
With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more,
there's the National Football League free agency. So the legal tampering period starts on Monday, and then free agency starts on Wednesday. Like the real, you can start signing and that kind of stuff. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, and DC, along with DeCito today, which is a big deal. So what did you just tell me that the Justin Fields thing is amazing? Okay, first of all, the fact that here we are and we're still sitting around having this conversation, and where are we going? Where's he going? And the conversation has turned to backup, gap year, Seattle. He's not going to Kansas City, dude. Matt Nagy's there, right? I mean, he's not going to Kansas City to back up Patrick Holmes, right? Tell me that's not happening.
It's not happening. It's one of those conversations that it can be frustrating because there's no realism in it.
To any of it.
People will start running with it. Like if you're Kansas City, you're worried about L'Jarius Sneed and completing that trade, signing Chris Jones, let alone saying, hey, we're going to take on Justin Fields and his whatever millions for just 1 year to back up Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't make any sense.
No, Seattle makes a little sense to me. Seattle, if you want to tell me Seattle and you can go up there, they've got a relatively cheap quarterback. Can they
Put
take
some
this
pressure on Geno Smith?
100%. If it doesn't work, then I got an opportunity here. I can listen to that. I still think it works really well. Excuse me, in Atlanta or in Pittsburgh, right? But obviously, look, the price is dropping, and at some point the Bears have to make a move, and they may just have to unload it for a 3rd-round pick, because I just can't see how they go into the draft and going through free agency with this still lingering over their head.
Yeah, especially once the draft starts, if you're Chicago, you want that 2nd or 3rd round pick this year. They'll use it for this team.
Right. Whatever the asset that you are going to get in return. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Odds that because I still think he is going to be a starting quarterback next year. Opening day starting quarterback in the National Football League. It still feels like it works for the Raiders. It still feels like it could work in Seattle.
Well, the Raiders won. They would know if they won him or not. Their offensive coordinator is Luke Getsy, who Chicago fired.
Right. I understand that.
Because Luke Getsy like Justin Fields.
That's what I always thought.
So, like, Luke Getsy can go into that Antonio Pierce and say, hey, this is the rundown. This is everything you need to know about this quarterback.
If you're the Steelers, and I understand how cheap Russell Wilson is, and evidently he's going to meet with the Steelers, and there's a courtship going on. Who do I want to challenge Kenny Pickett? Do I want Russell Wilson or do I want Justin Fields? You know where I am on Russell Wilson. I just don't want any part of it. Who do you want?
I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I want to see Justin Fields because that's exciting. There's a high ceiling. There's an upside that Russell Wilson doesn't bring to the table.
I think so.
Russell Wilson is just
cheaper.
He's cheaper.
If that's the reason you're bringing in a quarterback, it's not going to. I'm just going to tell you, man. If the only reason that I want that guy is because, well, he's cheaper. Well, why are cliches cliches? Because they're based in fact somewhere. And is a cliche you get what you pay for. Now, I understand Brock Purdy is on an under $1 million contract. They took him to the Super Bowl. At some point, he's going to get paid, right? And there's always the exception to the rule. But this just feels like if the reason people always tell me all the time, if you do it for the money, it's not going to work. And it's always, if you just take the job because it's more money, right? You hear that all the time. If you just do it for the money, it's not going to work out. It's got to work. It's got to feel right. It's got to be the right situation. If the reason is, well, he's on a cheap contract, it's not going to work.
I think it's both.
You think so?
Yeah. Russell Wilson is not done in the NFL.
Okay.
Like, Russell Wilson go in and win games with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a better organization, better place than Denver Broncos are.
Boy, this leads perfectly into where we're going, doesn't it? All right, when we come back, where were you 2 years ago today? March 8th, 2022. I know where I was. I was right here. I know where you were. You're going to hear the story of a young Bronco fan whose life changed, and so did his franchise, because it was 2 years ago today that we got introduced to Bronco Country. Let's ride. Bronco Country. Let's ride. Bronco Country. Let's ride. There it is on my screen. Let's ride. Thank you, Adrian. 2 years ago today, and oh, how the world changed. That is what we're going to get into when we come back. And oh, my goodness gracious, how it went down. I'll tell you when my life changed, certainly for the better. It was over 20 years ago when I walked into Coleman Vision. I met Dr. Stephen Coleman. He performed LASIK on me, and it changed my life. And I know that sounds hyperbolic and, oh, yeah, whatever. No, honestly, man. No contact. I mean, if you wear contacts and lenses, and especially now with the allergies, you know what you're dealing with. Imagine just not having to deal with it. Imagine being able to wake up in the morning, open your eyes, and see. That's what I did right after the surgery. I opened my eyes, and I'm like, whoa. I couldn't read the prompter, you guys. I was anchoring the morning news, and I couldn't read the prompter without glasses or contacts. Literally couldn't. I went to Dr. Coleman, had a 1 o'clock surgery, opened my eyes a few hours later, like an hour and a half later, whatever it was. Changed my life. Still don't wear lenses. I wear reading glasses now. Obviously, that's just a progression. But he changed my life. It is the best in the business. The technology he uses is cutting edge. It's Coleman Vision. And Dr. Coleman played a significant role in developing and testing the current technology. It's used not just here in New Mexico, but around the world. It was developed at Sandia Labs. So for years, people come from all over the country. They have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision because Dr. Coleman's reputation is stellar. He's been doing this for his entire career. You're going to hear stories. You hear them all month on the Sports Animal from people who have had LASIK. It's positively impacted their lives. It's changed their lives. The procedure's quick. Dr. Coleman will even let you watch him do the procedure on one of his patients. It'll give you the confidence you need. You're thinking about it, want to know if you're a candidate. Look, man, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Go online, visit ColemanVision.com. It's all right there, ColemanVision.com. Then call and make an appointment. 505-821-8880. 505-821-8880.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same.
That was such an interesting day for me.
Around noon that day?
Yeah, I lived about 10 minutes from the studio. I got a call from...
And you were working in Denver?
I was working, yeah, 104.3 The Fan. A lot of former Broncos. You know, it's really tied in with Broncos. They talk 99% Broncos on that station. So I get a call. They said, your show's definitely getting shaken up tonight. We got breaking news. You got to come in. Found out it was Russell Wilson. I was stoked, like everyone, because, and this was totally non-football based, but I looked at Jack and I'm like, this guy can do it. He can learn football. He can grow with football. He's got a good role model. It felt like a really good deal. And then a former Seahawk said, this is not going to work. And I was listening because in my mind, I thought.
On the air?
Oh, before. So, okay, the 1 to 4 show, I kind of was working with their producers at the time, but the Drive Time show, the 4 to 7 show, that was a former Seahawk. So
who was it? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't want to put anyone out there for stuff they didn't put on air. But nevertheless, he said it will never work in the locker room. And I was like, why? He was like, Russell's a different kind of guy. You know, you see certain skill set, you think that, but this locker room operates one way, he operates another. It's not going to work. There was a lot more to it than that. And so by the end of the day, I'm like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this. I slept on it. And then I felt really bad about it, thinking that's
good. Hey, don't worry about it. He can sing. DC Doe can sing all he wants, man.
I know he's serenading me right now.
It's a nice. He's got a good voice.
He does. Yeah. You know. Nevertheless, yeah, it was weird because in 24 hours I went from really high to really low on this deal.
Before anything happened, like before Russ even said "Let's ride" the first time.
Before
he ever gave you one "Let's ride." What'd you think when you saw the first Bronco Country? Let's ride.
See, I'm trying to think of the timeline.
Stomach churn.
I can't remember if that was before or after he showed up to training.
It was before camp.
Because when he showed up with the armored truck and wearing his own jersey and it was just weird. It was really bizarre, and you knew this was taking a weird turn.
Man, if you're going to show up like royalty, you better be it.
Absolutely.
Like if you're going to show up with your own brand and your own office on the second floor and your own entourage, like you better be it. And I don't know if you guys knew this over the last 2 years. You ain't it.
Then we should cancel the NBA when those guys show up to the arena. Like,
well, we could.
Like, who cares what you wear?
No, obviously,
that's ridiculous.
Well, but if you've got a former teammate saying it's not going to work because of that kind of stuff, then it's got to matter.
Well, I'm talking about who cares what Russell Wilson wears. It's the other stuff. The fact that Denver let him have an office, brought in Nathaniel Hackett. Like, it was a disaster all around. Russell Wilson isn't free of blame. The Denver Broncos organization isn't free of blame.
No,
but this is one. It's so easy to point at Russell Wilson. And the Sean Payton trade hurts this team just as much as Russell Wilson because they gave up a first-round pick. They'll start off a second-round pick this year.
So who do you blame more for the disasters? Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett, or the front office?
George Payton.
So you blame the GM.
I've landed on that one. Over time, I've realized his job was more about selling the team at first.
Where are you?
This is, to me, I can put it equal blame.
Third.
Yeah. Okay. Like, Russell Wilson wasn't good enough. That team was not just a quarterback away, and that franchise was not stable. You bring in Nathaniel Hackett for a disastrous year. And then you have Sean Payton who comes in and you realize that he never came in to fix Russell Wilson. He just came in to blow it, like make sure that he has all his former Saints players with him, and then he'll pick the next quarterback.
Well, and it kind of feels like he scapegoated, and it was easy to scapegoat because Russ wasn't very good. But I think in his mind, and I don't know that this is going to work out this way, it almost buys him 2 more years, Sean Payton. Because he says, look what I came into. It was a disaster. I mean, we had this old, aging quarterback who wasn't very good that crippled us with a salary cap. And
the way
so I had to rebuild the thing, and I need 2 more years. And I mean, what do you want me to do? It's a freaking disaster. And I don't know that it was as bad as that. Now, it is now. It is now. He's right. But I'm with you on the Russell or on the Sean Payton thing.
One thing I will say about his entrance to training camp, players had their own parking lot, and the way Dove Valley's set up, he made an entrance. He did it unlike anyone has ever done in Dove Valley.
What did he do?
He pulls up right up to the front where the media parking is, and he just sort of parks and
Media
walks.
gets better parking than the players?
It depends on how you look at it, because they have more direct access to their facilities, of course, but they're, like, it's not the front entrance there. Yeah. So I don't know, just the way he did that, like, it was more than just the look of it. It's like
I would like to dive into this a little bit more, because I wonder too how much of it was encouraged by the Broncos. Of you're our franchise quarterback, we brought you in.
It's a fair conversation. Let's continue, because it was 2 years ago today. Sergeant Pepper told the band to play, and they're out of style now, or at least he is. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See you, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Anniversaries, huh? 2 years ago today, Russell Wilson became a Bronco. We're into that. JJ, I was just sent, Mike sent me this. It was 13 years ago Monday. Jimmer Fredette scored 52 against the Lobos at the conference tournament in Vegas. Remember that day? Steve Alford was the coach. I was just watching some of the highlights. 52. And then you guys have been, you answered the question. San Diego State plays Boise State tonight in Viejas. And for Lobo fan, you really want Boise State to beat the Aztecs tonight because then it gives you a chance, if you can win in Logan tomorrow, to get out of that first day. You would get the 5 seed, be a first round bye. So I asked what the spread was, and I think about 8 of you have told me it's 7.5 because it matters to many of you. So 7.5, that feels way too much. That feels like, it feels like Boise State is stealing money there. Aztecs they're just not playing that well, I don't think. And Boise State's good, and they always play tight games, and 7.5 is a thick number, don't you think?
Oh,
I'm not going to bet it because I don't ever bet Aztec game. I don't bet it. I don't bet a lot anyway. But boy, 7.5 feels like a thick number, doesn't it? There's been a lot of close games in this league amongst the top teams.
I like how
Aztecs just lost in Vegas.
Yeah, and it
couldn't score.
Oh man, I do enjoy this time of year when the Aztecs, they're no good. It's gonna be like a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's like, oh man, team's no good. They can't do this. They win at home constantly. Boise State's gonna get him.
I didn't say they're gonna get him. I said 7.5 feels thick. I think the Aztecs win by 4. You don't think 7.5 feels thick? 60610 is where we are. 888-922-0610. All right, we're having a conversation about when Russell Wilson arrived. Not even just got traded, but arrived in Denver. And DC was working at a radio station up in Denver, and you were in the middle of all that, and your day kind of, spun, and you just told your story, and it was good. So, JJ, you want to get deeper into this because it's a really fair question. DC, you said when Russ showed up, all the players park over here, Russ parked over here. He showed up in his big, high-profile vehicle, got out in his branded clothes, whatever. It was all about it. And JJ's point isn't wrong, or at least it isn't crazy. Who initiated that? Is that all about Russ, or did the team say, hey, we got to make an entrance here, man? We just traded half our damn franchise for you. We got to make an entrance here. I think it's a fair conversation.
At first, he seemed to have a long leash when it came to media and making an appearance or an impression.
Whatever the hell he wanted.
He really did at first, and they seem to be on board for that.
He kind of got the LeBron treatment. Go ahead and do your thing, man. You're the face of our franchise, right? Until he didn't LeBron it.
Yeah, and this is one where it's so easy to crush now because it was 2 bad years of football. The Denver Broncos having to eat $85 million in cap space, but it's also one where I will talk about LeBron James. That everyone makes fun of him when he's like not 1, not 2, not 3. An NBA organization throw a pep rally and put LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh on the stage,
and they're still getting bashed for it.
And they're living in the moment. They're having fun. The fans are eating it up, and yet people want to just use that and say that that's why LeBron's not the GOAT.
15 years later, they're still ripping.
And it's just like the dude was in the moment for his franchise. And it's like, well, you need more self-awareness, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. It's like, and I get a little of that with Russell Wilson. I think the Broncos wanted him to be flashy, wanted him to be out there.
I think you're right.
And so it doesn't take away any of the responsibility he has as a franchise quarterback. But I just can't be like, oh my gosh, can you believe he's wearing his branded clothes? Like it's like Tom Brady doesn't show up to the facility. And
it was more than branded clothes, though. He was wearing his own jersey, and that's not done. Not on day one. That was one of the big things that
what do you mean
former.
It's not done, so you can't wear your own jersey?
You kind of have to earn it. He hasn't been on.
You have to earn your own jersey?
He's not a rookie showing up there.
Dude.
Okay.
Every former pro
so
I heard
you
had
got to
a
help me
problem with that.
why that's so. I mean, look, everything Rush does is cringy to me. So he steps out of the car and he's wearing like a number 3 Broncos jersey. Is that the deal?
Yeah. And,
I mean,
it's just not done. It's just kind of one of those unwritten player rules.
Okay.
Sounds a little like salty old players too.
I'm not sure.
You could be right about that.
I don't know
there
why
is
that
something to
bothers me, because it doesn't. I mean, why? Tell me why that should bother me.
You're not being part of the team. If no one else is doing it, you've got to become part of the leader, especially.
So he gets out of the car and he's wearing his own shirt, or he's wearing his own jersey?
Yes.
And that almost says to me, man, I'm part of this team. I want to be part of this team. Look at me. I'm wearing my jersey.
But no one else is doing it.
All right. I mean, there's stuff that I question. I guess I need to see the context on it. Okay. Who's more cringy, Russ or LeBron? I mean, LeBron backs it up, though, man. He's one of the best players to ever play. Russ is not.
LeBron was pretty funny in the movie. I can't recall what it was called.
In Space Jam?
No, not Space Jam. The rom-com type thing he did.
Man. He's fine. It's bring your kid to work day. DC got DeCito back there. That's what you hear in the background. Man, everybody's good with it. Everybody, your wife's out of town. You brought DeCito to where he can sing in the background. Dude, you're good. What were you gonna say?
Well, I'm going to listen to former players and take their word for it. But sometimes it's like, so Russell Wilson shouldn't come in with just a little bit of confidence.
No, he should.
When they just they realized what they gave up for him, they just gave him like a $200-some-odd million extension. And I think Russell Wilson is cringy. In the Broncos country, when he did it at the press conferences, like that's when it goes over the line. Because initially it was him recording promos for the team.
That's right.
And then he carried it over to the press conferences, and that's just where he just you don't understand that. Like, read the room.
We just got beat by 30. All right, guys. All right, cool. Bronco country. Let's ride.
And so I know it sounds like I'm just sitting here throwing out excuses left and right for Russell Wilson, but I look at that situation.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
There wasn't, and that's why I do think it's fascinating about Seattle, because we can't sit here and say Russell Wilson Russell Wilson doesn't get it. The dude won a ton of games.
He did.
He won a Super Bowl.
He should have won too.
So at that point, he had not signed the extension. We're still talking about day one at training camp.
But
he was. That was a verbal agreement.
Yeah. So the way training camp works there, he would have had a much, much, much better opportunity to do what he did, and that would have been after practice when you do the autograph session.
All right. So if that's protocol, that's fine. Here, JJ's got me thinking a lot of this.
I actually want to point out how good Pete Carroll was then. If Russ Wilson is just some
100%,
nutcase,
100%.
That all of a sudden we're just ready to say can't ever throw a football
But
again.
you're leading me to you're leading me right into where I was going. And so you got me thinking a lot on this, that this was probably a lot of the organization. But I got to go back to where DC is. And this is probably why I feel like I do about Russ. My eyes tell me he's just not that good of a quarterback anymore. He was. And now he's 35. He's not getting better. He's just not. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He was a good quarterback. He did spectacular things as an undersized third-round draft pick that won a Super Bowl and should have won a second. 100% credit for that. But I'm going back to what DC says, and when you tell me it's not going to work because a former player says, who he is, give me one former player who's come to his defense. The talk from all of us, nobody's there. When Marshawn Lynch talks about him, he does, you saw Terrell Owens. That's my quarterback, right? Crying over Tony Romo. And that's kind of where I just go, man, the insincerity that skews out into the public feels like it must be in the locker room because there's nobody who comes to his defense.
I think some of this too, like we assume that every quarterback has to be a certain way. I think Russ Wilson has some. I don't know what the right way to phrase this. Like he could just be an awkward person.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Like honestly, and we expect him to just be this. Well, you're a starting quarterback for a franchise. This is the way you need to act. Maybe he has some social interaction issues.
Yeah, but we do expect every quarterback to be a respected leader. We do.
Like he's done nothing wrong other than he's cringy.
No, that's right. 100%. I mean, he just says some weird things, some insincere things. Some I can't wait to feel the chill of the trophy again. Right? I mean, he's just, and so there could be a social awkwardness to that. Look, there's a lot of people in the public eye who are not comfortable being in the public eye, and it comes across that way, and that's just part of their position, right? They've ascended to a level of greatness in athleticism, coaching, whatever, that are very uncomfortable in public, and so I think that's a really good assessment on your part. But we do expect our quarterbacks to be something. We do expect quarterbacks to be respected
because.
Leaders.
The one thing with the players saying that they can't get a hold of Russell Wilson, that's been put out there by multiple people.
Yeah.
Of like, you're not taking. Well, how is he in practice? How is he when you guys are in that locker room and you have a job to do?
Yeah.
Monday through Sunday.
I don't know.
Yeah. Guess what? Maybe you're not getting steaks with Russell Wilson in the offseason.
Fair enough.
So that would be my thing.
Text line, JJ just hit on something that I've been harping about for decades. It was a bleeping pep rally. You're supposed to hype bleep up at a pep rally. I don't believe there's a single legitimate reason for LeBron hate. That's the texter. Okay? And the people who dislike LeBron would say, well, there's this and there's this. And he is, boy, I'm going to tell you, I'm trying to think of something before I say it. I'm trying to think of somebody who would be more. Is he the most polarizing athlete of our generation, of the last 3 or 4 generations? He's more so than Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, who's a more polarizing athlete than him? Barry Bonds?
No.
The only people who like Bonds were Giants fans, right?
Well, I think with LeBron, he speaks about a lot of things, thus we have a conversation about a lot of things.
You almost got to go back. Well, I don't want to. I'm not comparing him to Ali, but as far as the amount of people who loved him and really don't like him, I mean, am I missing somebody in between Ali and LeBron that just polarize? You either really like him or really don't, and somebody that it was at that level of their game, at the top of their all time. I don't think Brady reached that point. I don't think there was that much venom for Brady. You hated him because he beat your team, but did you really hate Tom Brady? People do hate LeBron. I believe that's right. Hate's such a big word, but I think that's out there. Am I missing someone?
It's
Tiger?
With LeBron James, it's everything. It's he is that good, so he can be in the conversation as one of the best ever, but then people say, no, he can't be there because of this, that, and that. Then you have the pep rally thing. Then you have him just speaking on social issues, which pisses people off.
When Tiger was in his prime, he was pretty polarizing. A lot of people did not like him at all. No, it's a good text. 505-246-0610. You can hit on it. I don't know who Russell Wilson is. And to your point, you made some really good points today, man. He might just be that genuinely cheesy, non-NFL kind of a person, right? Maybe that's who he is. He's just that syrupy, nice, good moral guy. I mean, that could be him, right? And it probably doesn't play. It probably doesn't come across very sincere in the locker room. But JJ, you said we expect our quarterbacks to be something. Yeah, we do. I think we expect them to be respected leaders, and I'm not sure that he is. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom.
I don't know, man. Like, we're both over here playing injured.
Give me a hoe.
All right, Desito, ho. Had a boy, DeCito. Was that his first hoe? But you're never too young, right? 5:05. It's now Friday, too.
First one I'm aware of, anyway.
Dad, do you think I tell you everything?
At this point, he does.
Are you going to Vegas this weekend, by the way?
You know, I'm 99% sure, but there's this one little piece of me. It's like, and it's the helicopter dad that says, is there too many people? Am I asking for trouble? Like, New York is...
What kind of trouble are you asking for?
Well, I'm not asking for any. It's just, I don't want to put him in a situation where something weird happens. But New York is like 2-minute walk from the live theater.
Is that where you're going to stay?
That would be the location, yeah.
Is there hockey there this weekend, too? Which is right next door to New York. Look at DeCito's like, yeah. Want me to check for you? I mean, I know you're a hockey guy, right? And if you catch a little, I mean, that's literally right next door. What's today's date? The 8th? I haven't been to a Golden Knights game. They do play tomorrow night against the Red Wings, but that's the same night as the show that you're going for. So that might not work. All right. 505-246-0610. We'll kick it with Kenny Thomas coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. The former Lobo great. We'll get into all kinds of stuff. You gave me these notes this morning. Kenny's name is all over it. I didn't realize, and I guess I did, as we go into this final game, and again, Lobo fan, here's where you are. You're rooting hard for Boise State tonight. They play at San Diego State. If Boise State can beat the Aztecs tonight and you can win at Utah State, Lobos get off of that 6th seed. They get a bye in the first round, get the 5 seed. If San Diego State wins tonight, New Mexico is guaranteed to play on Wednesday as either the 6 or the 7. And it then depends if you win, Colorado State wins, and Colorado State most likely will beat Air Force. So if you lose... if you lose and Colorado State wins, you're tied, and then it depends on what happens with Nevada and UNLV to break the tie. If Nevada wins, you finish as the 6th, and if UNLV wins, you finish as the 7th. If you lose and Colorado State wins and San Diego State wins. Got all that?
At this point, the only thing that matters is can you win what would be your best road victory of the season.
No doubt.
Right? Nevada might be there. Well, you have Nevada. Utah State, you could argue
that. It's the team that's going to win the league.
Team that's going to win the league. Final game of the regular season.
It means a lot. Richard Pitino said on Lobo Talk last night. He's the Lobo head coach. He was on Lobo Talk last night. He said, I told the team, if you win in Logan on Saturday, you're in the NCAA tournament. He said, now that might be putting too much pressure on him, but.
Do you like that?
I got no
You
problem.
like that?
I got no problem with it. Actually, I like it a lot. Yeah. And I think, first of all, I think he's right. I do. I think if they win in Logan tomorrow, I think they're in the NCAA tournament. I got zero problem with him saying that.
And that's the one time where it's not thinking too far ahead. This is what this game means. And it's okay to understand that. Even when coach talks so much about staying in the moment, next possession, next half, whatever it may be. But it's a reminder of how locked in you have to be in this environment, what this game can mean for the Lobos. Because they know that. Like, it's not,
of course,
without Richard Pitino saying that.
Flat out.
Like,
I mean, here it is, man. Oh, damn, coach. Yeah. He's right. He's right. Excuse me. A couple of NFL things. Cowboys reworked. They freed up some money today. So they've reworked their contract for Zach Martin. They're all pro right guard. It opens up salary cap space for this year, would potentially allow them to spread the cap hit over the next 2 seasons if this is his final year with the organization. So his contract, and look, Zach Martin's been a key to what you do offensively. His contract was set to be done after this year, but he had 3 voidable years through 2027. So the Cowboys gained about $13 million in space for this year by reworking his deal. It gets them under the $255 million salary cap. And, of course, the league's new year starts next week, all right? Now, I'm not going to get into what non-voidables are, but just know that it gives them some space this year, which is, I think, a big deal for them. Told you about Russell Wilson. Boy, did we tell you about Russell Wilson. Meeting with the Steelers, and evidently there's interest with the Giants as well. which is interesting. And then the Justin Fields news that came out this morning. And where did this come from, DC? The Justin Fields currently odds-on favorite to be the Vikings' next quarterback.
It was on NBC Chicago, and I believe it's called OddsBet is where they pulled the actual numbers from.
So this is certainly under the assumption that Kirk Cousins is going somewhere else, right?
Feels like Atlanta right now. The fact that they haven't made a deal yet in Minnesota indicates that it's probably not in Minnesota. So
right.
Most of the rumors say Atlanta.
What would you think of that offense with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison, Justin Fields? Vikings have a little over $40 million under the cap. So, I mean, what else would they be able to do? If they trade for Fields, and they might be able to get him for a third, but maybe a second. If they get Justin Fields in there with $40 million to play with, do you put them in the conversation in the NFC North with the Lions, the Packers?
Not right away.
You do not.
I need to see Justin Fields win from the pocket, and this would be a year of him working with Kevin O'Connell to learn how to do that. But I don't think that means they would be able to win the division.
Okay. Are they? Look, they're a year removed from being the 2 seed, and then they don't make the playoffs. They played without their starting quarterback. They had a great story with Joshua Dobbs for a second, and then they didn't. I'm not gonna lie, man. This really intrigues me. Him in Minnesota really intrigues me.
That would be the best spot for him to develop as a quarterback.
With a former quarterback as a head coach, a former quarterback head coach who won in his first year, with maybe the best receiver in the league as his main weapon, a really good young receiver, and Jordan Addison is number 2. Go find a running back. He's got a good tight end, a decent defense. I don't hate this at all. In fact, for him, if they decide to go and not re-sign Kirk Cousins because he wants too much money, I actually really like it.
Yeah, that would be the best landing spot for Fields. The coach, the offense. Atlanta is interesting because of the division, where it doesn't seem overwhelming. But I just think from a quarterback development standpoint, him with Kevin O'Connell would be the best of the available options.
Yeah. When we come back, a former player refers to the Dallas Cowboys as, quote, literally a zoo. Literally a zoo. Why? And what's that all about? How do you feel about that? Because I think this is going to intrigue you, especially if you're a Cowboy fan. That's coming up next. You're driving your vehicle. You're looking around. We put this off a lot, right? When are we going to take care of it? I don't have time to go get the car washed. I don't have time to go take it in and get it detailed. Can I just tell you? You don't need time. You just need to make an appointment. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will make the time for you. Jeff, how do they make time? I'm at the office all day. Exactly. They come to you where it's convenient for you, when it's convenient for you. I don't know where their office is. They know where mine is. So they come out to the office because I'm busy like you are. And while I'm in the office, they're in the parking lot and they detail my vehicle. Detail is what the car dealers do. And when they're done, you go outside and your vehicle looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. Brand new feeling. You don't have to get a brand new car to have that brand new car feel. When it comes to professional restoration and cleaning of your vehicle, they are the best. That's why they won Best of the City for 2023. So keep the dirt and the mud out this spring. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They'll detail it wherever it works for you. Book today online. It's otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com.
Right now we have reports of a major crash west.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help.
Blame the situation in which he played. The text line says Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. He has had 3 years to develop, and he still sucks. He clearly doesn't even belong in the NFL, definitely not as a starter. Wherever Justin Fields goes, expect his inadequacy to continue.
That take sucks. Doesn't suck.
I don't agree with the take, but I don't know that I think it sucks. Like,
Doesn't belong in the NFL.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. No, it says as a starter.
Oh, as a starter.
Yeah, it says as a starter.
My listening sucks. I don't listen to that.
I understand where that's from. I disagree because I just think he was in a bad situation. I want to see him get another shot.
He's 25 years old. Has the athleticism to make all the throws, to make NFL defenders look silly, and hasn't had consistent coaching to win from the pocket.
And by the way, we've seen flashes of brilliance.
Justin Fields has shown a lot more flashes than any other quarterback we're talking about on the move right now, or not good enough at their team.
Right? Think again.
25 years old.
Look how he looked against the Lions this year. He was phenomenal.
I looked against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Remember that game?
Yeah, there were games. All right, so that's there for you. 505-246-0610. I want to get into this. So, earlier this offseason, there's always talk about the Cowboys because they're the Cowboys, right? They are the Cowboys. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, the owner and the owner's son, who's like the, I don't know, general manager's son. President? Is that what Stephen's title is? They insisted the Cowboys do not have a culture problem. I don't even know what that is. And I kind of do, but I'm not sure. Cowboys, everybody wants to play for the Cowboys. I don't know that they do. Dalton Schultz is a tight end who spent the first 5 years of his career with the Cowboys. He's now with Houston Texans. In fact, he just signed a new deal, $36 million contract with $23.5 million guaranteed. He's a pretty good tight end. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about, amongst other things, the difference between playing for the Texans and the Cowboys. Where does he prefer? And he went on, he talked about the focus on football in Houston. He says, quote, I'm going back and telling people about being around the Cowboys practice facility and game day and describing some of the interactions and stuff you see on a day-to-day basis, and it surprises a lot of people. They're like, holy crap, that actually happens at the practice facility? You think it's normal, and then you come to a place like this, end quote. So McAfee asked him, what do you mean, man? Be specific. Give me an example. So Schultz says, quote, it's literally a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, trying to get people's attention while they're doing power cleans or whatever. It's different. That's the brand they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way they run things, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't realize how many eyeballs and how much that can maybe distract in the locker room, just being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, there's none of that, end quote. Define zoo. I guess if people are tapping on the windows and watching you lift weights.
That's a zoo.
So and it's been a while. It was like 2005. I was living in Dallas, and I was buying season tickets. They offered me a tour, and I just thought it'd be, you check out the seat, you see your view, you go on, you buy the ticket. It was not that. They showed you the locker room. You saw the field. You saw all this stuff, and I take that back. I guess they did do a little tour at Pepsi, but it was mostly so you could see what the ice looked like and how they moved the wood.
Ball arena now.
At the time,
then it was Pepsi.
Yeah. So nevertheless, like, it was.
I'm very into the sponsor thing.
Well, you're doing an excellent job because Pepsi is not their sponsor. But nevertheless, it was a very mild version of that. But I just remember being blown away how much access the Cowboys gave you compared to every other team I had interacted with at that point.
Did you feel that you were intruding? Did you feel like uncomfortable being where you were? Like, I mean, if you were a player, would you have felt, what are all these people?
I was shocked they brought me to the locker room.
Were there players there?
There were not. But I wouldn't doubt they would have brought me down if there were. It's an easy sell.
What do you think of what he said? I don't know if that defines zoo to me. I mean, I could see it as being a completely different atmosphere where...
Well, when you have people staring at you, trying to get your attention, hitting them the glass is exactly what kids do at the zoo.
Yeah, that's
right. And I think that the access part, the getting a tour in the off season, I think a lot of places do that. Now, when there's players working out and it can be a distraction, then I understand how that gives you pause as an athlete. You might not be super comfortable with that. Right, like our weight room is just open for viewing right now.
Yeah, come on in and watch me work. Yeah, here, let me scratch my junk like the monkeys do at the zoo. Yeah,
but it goes into everything people feel about the Dallas Cowboys. Is it doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter what contract Dak Prescott has, as long as Jerry Jones is around, it's going to be everything other than football, and they won't be successful.
Because they haven't been? I mean, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. All right, emails. Aztecs by 7.5 tonight is the spread. Got it. 2 most hated teams. This is from Dan. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Dakota Carson. You end with that one? I mean,
I'll take it.
All right. When you don't take care of your own business, you're forced to cheer for Steamed Rice, who you were just crying about because you need another loss in the Aztecs ledger. P.S. for Louisville fans, today's Double Dutcher bus has added significance. Yeah. You're rooting for Leon Rice tonight, Louisville fan. You're rooting for Boise State. As much as you don't like that guy, who do you like less, the Aztecs or Leon Rice? Ooh, that's a fair question for Louisville fan. Do you like the Aztecs less or do you like Leon Rice less?
Put it on the poll.
Seriously. Tonight, you like the Aztecs less. You need Leon Rice to win. James wants to talk about the women, Jeff. San Diego State's not very good. There's a reason the Aztecs are 7th seed every year, but they always give UNM problems. And another potential falling on your sword is the worst coach team in the Mountain West Conference, Wyoming, losing to Boise State. What's he talking about? So they do. I mean, the Aztecs always do give New Mexico problems, right?
It's a tough matchup.
And that's who you're going to get them or San Jose State in the quarterfinals. All right. So you're planning on San Diego State in the quarterfinals. And it's been a tough matchup. Didn't they not come out last year?
They beat them last year.
Yeah.
Lobos lost in San Diego this year. They did play that game without Anaya Ogman.
Yep.
Won a 3-point game at the pit with their full squad over the Aztecs. It's just one of the easiest way to put it. Excuse me.
We're in the same place.
Excuse me. For people, I would say it's like when the Lobo men play Boise State or UNLV. It's just matchup wise, it's tough.
Tough matchup. Yeah, and look, basketball, especially this time of year, is a game of matchups. All right, James is in on Russell Wilson wearing his own uniform or his own jersey. Jeff, like every dude in the transfer portal, has a picture of themselves in the uniform of the school they just got offered. Yeah, it's a little different. Or is it? I mean, I don't know if it is. I guess the wearing his own jersey thing, never even thought about it. That really was something that resonated, huh?
Big time. I was surprised by it too, because to me it really didn't seem like much, but that was a talking point. And it's one of those things like you're joining something greater than a team when you're talking about NFL players. It's a brotherhood,
right?
And you kind of have to work the room, and walking in with your own jersey on is not a good way to do that.
All right, Grady. So if he would have worn just a
it was a throwback jersey, right?
It might have been. I know it was orange. I can picture it right now.
You got it in front of you, right?
Like it was the old school Broncos jersey. He's wearing a 3 on it, showing up to training.
All right. I mean, I never thought twice about it. Grady's like, oh yeah, buddy. It says, oh, there's a lot of O's on there. I hope young Desmond Chambeau was bobbing his head.
He was trying to press buttons.
Was he?
He got me real nervous.
Which ones did he press?
He successfully pressed 0, but he wanted to press one that might have sent us to commercials. that was a moment of chaos.
Oh,
back here.
Young Desmond Chambeau. Desmond Chambeau's a good one.
I like that. Hey, we were talking about the tours a second ago, and not to go back too far, but every team does offer them, and they are usually every half an hour or so. So the Cowboys version is not actually that unique anymore.
Okay. All right, 505-246-0610. Gambling's a deal. When we come back, there is a basketball game that has been flagged by gambling watchdog groups after unusual betting activity. Be careful. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the Frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. down and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors.
The game is flagged for unusual betting activity. It's not uncommon, and it's not in itself incriminating. But in recent history, when U.S. Integrity stepped in for a game, it hasn't been good for people. This company was also involved in that Alabama baseball betting scandal after suspicious wagering activity was alerted before that game, and their coach was fired for his involvement. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, DC, and DCito. It's Little DC. Thursday night's game between Temple and UAB, that's Alabama Birmingham, was flagged by U.S. Integrity. This is a gambling watchdog company that works to combat illicit college sports betting and fraud. They look for unusual betting activity on games. Sports Illustrated reported this Thursday night. An AAC official, American Athletic Conference, told SI that they were aware of it. So the Thursday night's game between UAB and Temple opened up with UAB as a narrow favorite. The line moved dramatically in the day leading up to it. UAB was favored by 1 point favored by 8. It closed at 7.5. Final was UAB 100-72. Sports Illustrated is reporting that in addition to the flag before the game, U.S. Integrity had been monitoring Temple games for a while. Temple's 12, 15, and 2 against the spread. They've lost 12 of their last 15. Watch it, man. I just watch it. The track record for this group getting involved, when they get involved and when it becomes public, it's usually not good for the people that they're investigating. That's all I'm saying.
But this is what you want if sports gambling
100%
is going to be legalized more and more across the country. The lines, the people that are involved with it, you need to monitor everything.
This says, text line, did anything ever happen with that unusual betting activity in the UNM-UNLV football game last year? I don't think so. I know they were investigating it, but I don't think they ever found anything. And again, sometimes games get flagged and there's nothing there. It moves on. So it goes both ways on this too. But just keep an eye on it. It's when we're in Vegas next week, like everybody. DC, you ever watched a game at a sports book in Vegas, or even a live event in Vegas?
I have.
The one I remember, I was the Pac-12 tournament. It was an Oregon game. I want to say they were playing Washington State in a quarterfinal game. Spread was 9.5. Kid from Washington State. No, the kid from Oregon was at the free throw line. Oregon was up by 8. And he had 2 free throws with JJ with 2 seconds to go. He hits the first. They go up by 9. He purposely missed the second, and Oregon fans didn't cover it. And just Oregon fans who won the game in advance were just, because all the Oregon fans bet their team and laid the 9.5 or whatever the number was. And because and literally, he tried to, it was one of those where you could just see he just threw the ball. Dude did not cover for his people, and they won the game, but Oregon fan walked out of there bitter.
They weren't happy.
They were,
because they didn't get the win and the money.
They would have rather had their money than the win. In
It's
Vegas, what do you think? Would you rather your team
it's a
win or would you
different
rather cover your bet?
experience. At this point in time, people want their money.
Yeah.
Especially if you, whatever way you go. And that's one of the things that Scott Van Pelt has done amazingly
So
with this
good.
bad beat segment.
It's so good.
Of how ridiculous sports betting is and what happens in these games and just the meaningless layup that goes in or
chuck a 3 at the end that means nothing.
Yeah, that you like might miss because the camera cuts away and then that's the score of the game, or also just the people's reaction. I actually saw it at the end of the Louisville game.
Here?
Wednesday night.
Yep.
Sitting there, the clock's winding down, and these two dudes on the other side of the floor.
17 and a half. It was getting close.
Were like screaming.
I know.
It was like I think Fresno State was like dribbling it out, and they were like screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know what the over-under was.
Yeah, and so I immediately was like, "What's the spread? What's the over/under?" I'm like, "There's no way those two guys need to be acting like this." But I knew why. They probably had something on the game.
Lobos won.
They're like, "Go!"
Lobos won by 21. The spread was 17 and a half. I don't know what the
I don't know
total
what
was.
they needed, but I was just like, "Yeah, there's something else actually going on." Final 17 seconds, these guys are losing their mind.
Always is. It's funny just watching a game in Vegas, and you sit in a sports book, and there's random groans or cheers. It's beautiful. Kenny Thomas is doing next. We'll kick it with Kenny. Talk some Lobo basketball, the NBA. Boy, oh boy, there's big stuff in the NBA. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC, and Dicito. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
brought to you by Capital Ford on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
You know, Fridays are tough. I mean, they're not tough like for everybody, but you know, Fridays are tough for when you're Kenny Thomas. You're an entrepreneur. You're a whiner. Why? What, if you make wine, what are you? Are you a whiner? Like, if you make wine, what does that make you? Are you a whiner? Like, you're not a distiller. If you distill booze, right? But he's got, you know, the big power breakfast at Barrella's Coffee House every Friday morning. And then, you know, he's Kenny Thomas who's going through this. So Kenny's not here yet. I think he's coming, but we'll kick it with Kenny here. Oh, wait, look, wait, no, hold on. There, Kenny Thomas is here. Fresh off of Barrella's Coffee House, where he had the eggs and the bacon. And what else do you have for breakfast? Good morning, Kenny Thomas. How you living? Welcome to Kick It with Kenny Thomas on The Sports Animal.
Man, I'm great. I'm just trying to get these headphones in. Man, they were busy this morning.
Over at Barrella's? Well, yeah, because when you have Lobo Live brought to you by Barrella's Coffee House, and you say it like, you know, after every phone call, then they're getting their money's worth.
Yeah,
and now everybody knows to go to Barrella's Coffee House.
Yeah, and Jerry and Mike, the owners over there at Barrella's Coffee House, man, the response that they've been getting has been amazing. They don't, obviously Barrella's doesn't have to advertise, right? It's one of those places that everybody and anybody, celebrities, everybody goes there. Yep. But the fact that Mike and Jerry supported me and helping me get Lobo Live off the ground, the post-game show back, it's huge for this community because there's a lot of people calling in and actually enjoying it.
So I take my people, man, when they come to town, you want to go to one of the commercial places, or you want to go like to where the people go?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where everybody knows your name.
Look at that. They all cheers. What's up, Kenny Thomas? How you living?
Yeah, man, there was a little bit of cheers there, but
yeah.
Man, I'm good, man. What's up? Lots. JJ, you happy to be back? The girls second
place
right now. Yeah, I got to give them love right away, man. Yeah, they deserve it. They're playing some great ball. So when do they play next, Jay? Today? Monday night. Who do they play?
Vegas. Either San Diego State or San Jose State.
So how did they do against both of those teams this year?
1-1 against the Aztecs, 2-0 against San Jose State.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's good. Good for them, man. I know it's not easy traveling, but and then you got to get up and come in.
It's glamorous.
Yeah.
Traveling's glamorous.
Yeah.
Hardly. All right, big one tomorrow. And so Kenny will be on with Lobo Live over on News Radio KKOB. It's a 6:30 start tomorrow, 6 o'clock over on News Radio KKOB. Hunter Green, Robert Portnoy will have the call from Logan. Utah State has already clinched a share of first place. They are playing to get the outright title and cut down nets. Lobos, if San Diego State loses tonight and the Lobos win tomorrow, the Lobos get off the bye, they will be the 5th seed.
Yep.
San Diego State beats Boise State tonight. The Lobos are assured they will play in the play-in game. They will either be the 6 or the 7. You're going into this, and Richard Pitino said on Lobo Talk last night, he said, I told my team, if you win in Logan, you're in the NCAA tournament, which I believe is true.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know if I put too much pressure on him or not. You're a player. You want to hear it? You already know it, but do you want to hear it from your coach?
Oh, you got to hear it. I think back in the day with Dave Bliss, he told us, but to a certain extent, the players had to come together and be on the same page and know that it's there. And then you got an opportunity to go down to Logan and make a statement. And the fact that you beat them already in the pit convincingly,
points, yep.
But you got to understand. You got to understand Utah State's going to come out swinging, especially how the Lobos did. So, last game, senior night down there, it's going to be a lot of energy in there. What it's going to come down to, obviously, you got to realize Utah State's going to go on runs. The Lobos are going to go on runs, but the Lobos are going to have to strike back at certain times during this game to stay in the game, to keep it close. They keep it close, I think they got a real solid chance.
So they come off a win. They snap the 2-game losing streak. They look good against a team that's not good. They're not deep. They look, their best player got thrown out of the game at halftime. I thought that was a flagrant one when he kind of slapped him in the junk.
Yeah, but you know, Pitino said that the referee after the game, because Hunter and Rob asked about it, right? And I think Pitino said that House came out, told him about it. Pitino told the ref. And obviously, a hit in the groin is an automatic ejection.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think Pitino said that, but I'm just quoting what he said.
No, that's good to know. Who are the Lobos? Are they? To me, they're somewhere in between what I saw the other night against a not good team. and what I saw in Boise, where they played well against a good team. I guess what I'm asking you is was that the get right game they needed? Does that carry over into Logan and then the tournament?
Of course it does. Dan came on the post game show once again with Robert and Hunter, and he said it himself. Like, this is the one that they needed with the momentum, right? I feel like that Boise State win, obviously a quad one win would have put them over the top coming into Fresno State at home. Obviously what they did was huge. I think the huge impact from the Fresno State game was the inside play. You had Nelly that had 12 and 12. You had JT that had 16 and 16, another double-double for this kid, which he's on a roll, killing my freshman double-double
Got
record.
it already.
Yeah, so if he would have played like the last 4 minutes, he could have had 20 and 20. Dent even said that, right? But I feel like the energy's there, the momentum's there. Obviously, everybody's talking about House, how he shot, but you got to keep in mind, man, House impacts the game in other ways. If it's emotionally, if it's getting the team hype, he can sometimes be a little bit overboard when it's not needed. But you got to also realize he's been rebounding the ball. He had 5 rebounds
he plays
last
better
game.
when he's emotional. I just do.
Yeah.
I think it almost feels like JJ's been trying to tame it down a bit the last few games, and let him be him, man. Let him go be him.
See, but the thing about it is, once you develop that reputation of being that guy, it's kind of expected. It's kind of like not trying to compare Eddie House to a Ron Artest or
Jalen House or Eddie.
I mean, Jesus, Eddie was in the building. His dad, who I played with. I'm used to saying Eddie.
Yeah.
Sorry about
No,
that.
that's right. I didn't know which one you were talking about, honestly.
I was talking about House
Jalen,
here at
yeah,
UNM.
yeah.
From the standpoint of it comes down to he's going to have to come out and make an impact if it's playing passing lanes. And the Lobos are 18th in the country when it comes to steals right now.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that's huge where he makes an impact. And I feel like he keeps rebounding the way he does. I think it's going to be huge.
Kicking it with Kenny. Kenny Thomas is in studio with us here on the Sports Animal.
The one thing I just don't trust with this team is them continuing to go inside. Because Nelly's not going to have that easy of a matchup against Utah State. But can they feed JT Toppin enough? I think that is my biggest concern with this team, is it's just getting enough looks inside.
See, I think the fact that JT and Nelly last game, they only missed 1 or 2 shots apiece in that game. I feel like the Lobo guards are going to have to throw the ball in because you have to command some kind of presence. JT, one of the games, I think it was Boise State, to where Patino called the timeout. Boise State was going on a run. He called a play for JT. And JT actually went baseline left hand because he's left-handed, left-hand hook, right? They never came back to it. So it's one of those things to where I feel like they should incorporate a couple plays for JT at least. If it's a 4-cross with something, getting him in the post with a couple different actions.
There was a great high-low with him and Nelly. They were both at the high post. They got the entry pass came to, if you look at the basket, the left elbow to Nelly, and JT dropped. There was a bounce pass. It was beautiful.
See, those bigs, I totally agree with you. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were going to say something.
No, we're going to the last game of the regular season.
Yeah.
And still talking about the post not getting touches. And that's just my concern, is it's not going to.
See, those, man, I was always taught, even in high school, you bigs, you play together. You play together. I feel like there's been many opportunities to piggyback off of what Jeff said. I totally agree. There's a lot of opportunities for high-low action. If the big is on the strong side where the ball is, that opposite post, if they're fronting, why not flash to where you can dump it down to your other big? The bigs don't play off of each other. Obviously, I mean, I'm not the coach, right? But I feel like for the last couple years, people called into the show, the post-game show, and they're talking about, hey, these guards have gotten Lobo basketball to what it is, and I totally agree. And I think that they're still in that.
So the bigs could take them to the next level.
Yes, and I think they're trying to come out of it, especially with JT, the way he's setting a tone right now. I just feel like they should get him the ball even more.
JJ put out this sheet this morning, and your name's all over it. And it talks about the UNM freshman rebound record that JT broke. He's got 269. You had 256, which is insane, by the way. Freshman rebounding. You had 259 rebounds. He broke that record. He is just short now by 3 of Drew Gordon's UNM season record for offensive rebounds. You had 102, Gordon had 108, JT's got 105. I said, and I know I've said this too, and as we watch him more, I'd love your opinion on it more. He's the best offensive rebounder I've seen here since you.
Oh man,
and he's just got a knack.
Even though that Drew Gordon has 108.
No, but yeah. I mean, we could talk about numbers, but yeah, just the knack. And Drew Gordon was really good. I'm not, again, if you say Michael's better than LeBron, you're not dissing on LeBron, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think he's just got a better, and he's a freshman. He's just got an unbelievable knack for the basketball.
He's very athletic, and he goes and gets them. And I'm talking offensive rebounds. Defensive rebounds, they're a little bit easier to get because you have the position on the inside, right? Just depending on long shots that come out from the perimeter. But JT, he goes and gets them, man, and you can see the desire is there. But what I really love is that he's setting the tone for his presence at UNM, and to a certain extent, he's commanding a double team in the post. But I got to get him. I would love to see him see what he has first before he makes a move and see where the defense is.
Get it?
And then attack based off of that.
Want to take a call?
Yeah.
Mike, you want to talk about Utah State game? Good morning, Mike. You're on the Sports Animal with Kenny Thomas.
Hey, man, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Hey, just an observation and a couple points here. The first one is let me bring up our bigs. Our bigs are against good teams are getting in the last couple of the key games that we've played, getting stopped by their bigs because we're not hitting the outside or mid range. Obviously, that's probably agreed upon. That we have to do. We have to hit those, and hopefully House can find his shot. I do like his defense. I like his energy. I don't think anyone has any question about that. And one other thing, Kenny, is you see these early games. You get the play-in games. You come into say you win that game. You come into the next game, or it's like your legs are underneath you. You seem like you can snake bite the team that got the bye. What's your thoughts on that?
Thanks, Mike.
So I feel like the Lobos do have a lot of momentum and their legs are under them. When you get a win in the pit in front of 13,000 people, that automatically, instantly kicks in another different kind of energy. Obviously, when you go down to Logan tomorrow, it's going to be the same kind of energy.
But he's saying if you have to play Wednesday in Vegas, you win that first game, do you have an advantage in the second game? Even though they're rested, you've already played. You got your legs under you. Played in that arena. You got the butterflies out.
See, but that's why I started by saying I feel like they have their legs under them now. Yeah. I think it's not going to be the end of all if the Lobos do not win on Saturday, right? So I feel like wherever they start in the first game, it's going to be one of those games to where they're obviously going to have to win. And I feel like that momentum right there, which is what they have right now, is going to carry over.
All right, we're going to continue kicking it with Kenny. There's some good NBA stuff we got to talk about. Steph Curry got injured yesterday. The Nuggets and Celtics played yesterday. So we got some NBA stuff we got to get through. We're going to be in Vegas next week. Looking forward to the conference tournament. Thanks to DSI Document Solutions Incorporated, New Mexico, for getting us there. Boost your productivity and reduce your costs with DSI. Coleman Vision, perfect game. Airport parking, easier, quicker, smarter. Frontier Restaurant in Albuquerque, tradition for more than 50 years. And Enchanted Mechanical, the heating and cooling doctor. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Mountain West is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading.
I'm an AM 610, the sports animal. All right. Interesting NBA last night, man. I don't know if it was a preview of the NBA Finals. Nuggets, Celtics, 115-109. Jason Tatum had the ball in his hand, had the shot wide open three. No, he wants to be the face of the NBA, and maybe one day he will be. He's still not. And the Nuggets, I still think, as much as everybody loves on the Celtics, I still think the Nuggets are the best team in the NBA.
DC Nuggets, buddy. That's the producer back there. Man, the Nuggets are the Nuggets. I think they added some strong pieces, especially on the perimeter. They got rid of Brown. Jokic is just a guy that plays at his own tempo and does what he does. And once again, he almost had another triple-double, I think.
He did have a triple-double.
Did he have a triple-double?
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
I thought he had 9 assists.
Yeah, no, he triple-double. I think he had 11. As we go into this, you start looking at the injuries now. Karl Anthony Towns, number one seed, Minnesota, he had the meniscus surgery.
Yeah.
Steph Curry rolled his ankle yesterday, left early. I mean, I start looking at this, man. This is Nuggets time right now for me. JJ mentioned something earlier about playing guys. He said Michael Malone, and this is your point earlier. He said the Nuggets play their players. They saw a big game. The Celtics came in. This is a premier game. They play their dudes. He treats it like a regular season. The other side of this is you're going to wear them out. I mean, I love the way the Nuggets do it. I like JJ's point on it.
As far as
Play your players, man.
Yeah.
Play
See,
'em.
but it comes back to UNM, right? Like everybody wants the bench to be played, but that coach is only going to play the certain players that he has faith in. What you smelling at over there, JJ?
Oh, just it's
we hear it
the,
every
the
day.
UNM comment on the bench, and the Lobos have the same rotation as everyone else in this league, but yet it's the 9th and 10th guys not playing or why they lost the game.
Because Sebastian Forsling would have won them a championship, him and Quentin Webb.
Yeah, right. I got the faith, but he's not in the rotation right now, man. So when you're not in the rotation, it's a different game. But the NBA is totally a whole nother level. The fact that you have a bench is just a matter of how deep you want to go, and then especially when you get down towards the other half of the season, you got to use your
All
bench.
right, so you've been in both situations. You started for years in the NBA, then you came off the bench. I'm gonna guess, and then there were times right at the end you didn't play much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess, and this was JJ, was it Tuesday, Monday? We had this conversation. Coaches want to win, the players want to win more than the fans. This is the coach's job; it's his livelihood.
Yeah.
He sees you every day in practice. If Quentin Webb, Sebastian Forsling, Braden Appelhans, anybody is going to give him a better chance to win, he sees them every day. I got to believe he's putting them in. This isn't a thing where I'm going to play MASH because I've known his family forever. I got to believe that, and this is where I really back down a lot on. They should be playing this guy more. They should play. I got to believe coach is going to play the best lineup that he thinks to win, and he's got him every single day.
Yeah, and in that coaching staff, that's where they come in and help, right? And it comes down to, hey, are you ready? And I said the same thing. I totally agree with you. They're seeing certain things in practice, and if you're doing what you're supposed to in practice, you get the opportunity. Like you said, I wasn't playing my last couple years in the NBA, right? And I was the second highest paid on the Kings. And when you get an opportunity, you got to go in. When I got my opportunity, I came in. I knew I wasn't going to be that guy to where I got the ball, right? So what do? You rebound and you play defense. And then at some point, that didn't even work, right? So you just got to stay in there, stay on the grind. And that's why those guys, to a certain extent, go through the year that they go through, because they're developing, hopefully in practice, to where this coming year, they will be able to come off the
Kenny
bench.
Thomas is here. We're kicking it with Kenny, 11 years in the NBA, former level great. When did you know you were done? Did you make? Was it your decision? Was
That's
it
a
their
great
decision?
question.
Like, when did you know I'm done?
So basically, the Kings, my last year, wanted me to give a couple million back, right? To like get a buyout. I'm like, no, I'm not giving no money back, right? Because nothing's guaranteed to you. It's bad enough that I passed up an extra $15 million to sign with the Sixers instead of waiting for Utah. I was the first one to sign on the signing day in Philadelphia, and I was cool with that because I felt like I was going to work hard enough to where I would get another contract. Not playing, it's one of those situations, man. You can just kind of feel it to where it's winding down. And towards my last couple years, I was like, hey, because the Maloofs were the owners at the time. I'm like, yo, the Spurs, there's other teams that tried to trade for me. They just would not trade me. So it was kind of like one of those blackball things to a certain extent. And as you get older, out of sight, out of mind, because the rotation is still going, because
here come
there's
young dudes.
And when I was playing, it was more heavier on the veteran side. Now it's just a younger game. It just is.
So did you in your mind know, man, I can't play at this level anymore, or did they make that decision?
It wasn't a matter of me being able to play anymore, because I still have my own personal trainer. I was still doing what I was supposed to do, right? It was just a matter if I got the opportunity, and it wasn't there. And then I had an opportunity to go overseas, and then at the time I was married, right? So I wanted to go. I thought it'd be a great experience, but it just didn't end up happening.
When you look at a professional locker room and you have the different dynamics, sometimes there are guys on the bench making a lot of money, not playing. You're trying to work in young guys. What's that dynamic like, and how much does the coach play into setting that tone for a team?
Well, obviously the coach is he's the head of the snake, right? Like, he's the one that's controlling everything. Obviously you don't go in unless he puts you in. And I never had to experience that situation, but I've been around guys like a Marcos White that was a walk-on here at UNM. Like, he got opportunities to play, but obviously he wanted to play more. And then you had guys like Ben Baum and Daniel Santiago, guys like that were supposed to play the center spot, and I ended up playing the center all 4 years.
And you wanted to play the forward. You wanted them to play the center. Ben played a little bit. Daniel didn't play much. Ben got his time. I always liked the lineup when he was at the 5 and you were at the 4. because I thought it gave you more flexibility.
See, but Ben wasn't a post-up guy. Daniel Santiago more.
Yeah, but he didn't play him.
Yeah, but he didn't play him. So
a guy who played in the NBA, by the way.
Yeah, I got excited because the big 7-footer coming in, and that would be able to allow me to play more of like a 3-4 or 4-3, which I played in the NBA 3-4-5. So.
I never asked you this question, and I always wondered it. So, was Daniel your year? Daniel Santiago. He came out of Del Norte. You came out of Albuquerque High. AJ was at La Cueva. Were you all the same year?
No.
Daniel was a year younger.
I think he was younger.
Okay, but you had JJ. They had 4 bigs come out of here. Taman Domzalski down from Roswell, if I'm not mistaken. Kenny at Albuquerque High, AJ Bramlett at La Cueva. Daniel Santiago played 4 or 5 years in the NBA.
Yeah,
and he never got it. He couldn't crack the lineup here. He went to like St. Francis of Pennsylvania, or an NAI school or a Division II school, and won a national championship, if I'm not mistaken. How come he never got on the floor?
Once again, it goes back to that coaching thing.
But
right?
when you played with him every day in practice, did you think he could play at that point?
Yeah, but obviously Dave Bliss didn't think he could, right? So that's all that matters. It's the same thing with Patino. He's seen certain things, and he has confidence in the guys that he's playing. Mashburn, they've been to wars together, right? And Mashburn is the type of guy that just had 19 points. And if he doesn't play that type of basketball, I don't feel like they go as far as they think they're going to.
I think, look, they've got to figure out, and hopefully that got Mashburn back on track. And it's not his percentage wasn't great the other night, but he scored points. I thought last night or the other night was an anomaly because I thought they were jacking shots up crazy. Between Mashburn and House, they were 8 of 29, right? Yeah. It's not like they shot great. I think House has to get back on schedule. All right, as we wrap you up, the key to tomorrow night, because again, I do believe, I believe a few things. I believe that they win tomorrow night, they're in the NCAA tournament. I'm convinced the NCAA tournament's got a sense of humor, and if the Lobos get in, I think it's going to be St. John's versus New Mexico, Richard Pitino versus Rick Pitino in Dayton in the first 4. But what they got to do to win tomorrow?
I hate to say this, man. They got to be perfect. And when I say perfect, obviously they're not going to be. They got to be perfect in right situations. And those situations are going to come down to, once again, Utah State, they're going to go on runs. It's just a part of it. Who's going to step up and answer? And the best way that they can answer is to get in pick and rolls. And especially if they're in transition, right? Those bigs need to run. And then if there's nothing there, bigs, obviously, if there's nothing there, set a pick and roll because there's a lot of different action that you can get out of it. And then the last key point, just because you're open from behind the perimeter does not mean you have to shoot a 3. Take 1 or 2 dribbles, get yourself going. And if you have an opportunity to get a layup, those feelings feel good and you get yourself going and then you feel good about yourself.
You got anything?
Good. Great way to wrap it up.
Kenny Thomas wines are available in Santa Fe. They're available online. You can get them at the Albertsons on Tramway and Academy. What else you got?
Man, got some tournaments coming up. Just finalized partnership with Roswell. June 28th, finalizing our first tournament up in Hobbs, April 20th.
Nice.
And then Memorial Day weekend, I have a big tournament. Last year, we had about 220 teams from like 7 different states, even Chihuahua, Mexico.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. And then the Memorial Day tournament, I just said we have like 9 new scouts coming in to help recruit for the kids. Yeah.
So follow him on the socials. It's Kenny Thomas, NBA. You can listen to him tomorrow after Lobo basketball. It will be Kenny and Brandon Ortega over on News Radio KKOB. Lobo Live, brought to you by Barella's Coffee House. After Lobo basketball on News Radio KKOB. Have a great weekend. We will catch you on Tuesday.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Last thing, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Kicking it with Kenny. Hope you enjoyed it as well. I got great response, JJ. Everywhere I go, I was talking to a guy who used to work in the building here, actually. Said, God, I love what you guys are doing with Kenny. It sounds great. So, that Kenny Thomas guy is pretty good. See you. All right, have a great day, Kenny Thomas. See you. Kenny Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. He's doing really good things. I've never had the conversation with Kenny about when he knew it was over, or how when you know your NBA career is over. And I've always wanted to know kind of the insight. You probably don't remember Daniel Santiago at all, right? No. Daniel Santiago played it. He was 7 feet. Played at Del Norte. Was a Lobo. Never got on the court. He was literally one of those guys like kind of played the Sebastian Forsling role.
Yeah.
And why not play him? So he transferred to a small school. I want to say it was a small school in Pennsylvania. They won a national championship, small schools. And he played like 4 or 5 years in the NBA. Obviously, dude could play. But what a run of bigs they had back in that day.
And sometimes you miss on a guy. Yeah. It happens. And not every dude that's not playing isn't good enough. Some guys are good. And, sometimes it just isn't it. The one dude I think, the only dude that I look at and say, well, I just don't know is Quint Webb. Because you say you're small on the perimeter and you just need more defense. And it's like, well, it's that guy.
No, I agree with that. But then you say, okay, are you giving him Drew's times? Are you giving him Jamal Baker's time? Are you giving him, and I hear that the interwebs, give him House and Mash's minutes. But I mean, you've got a 4-guard rotation right now, right? Yeah. So whose minutes is he taking? You got a 4-guard rotation, and Moshila's playing, your other minutes. Whose minutes is he taking? And I think that's, every time you add, you need to subtract. Kind of like the Uber Eats commercial. Every time to remember something, you got to forget something. Which is, by the way, really funny commercial. Gopher says, I know it doesn't feel like it, Jeff, but the goofy-looking weather dudes keep telling me meteorological spring has started, which means Nick Nee, Friday, 9 a.m. soon, right? Nick Nee will join us. Yes. In fact, I think we just got that done the other day. So with Kenny in here at 9, Nick may go at 8:30 for a while. But, yes, we are going to start doing the golf tips with the director of golf at Sandia Golf Club, Nick Nee, in April, right before the Masters. So it's time. Maybe one year we're going to do the Nick Nee project.
I'm down.
I mean, it just takes time. Just you got to go out there and do it, right? Or do it with your son, which might even be better.
Which could work because he goes out there anyway during the summer.
He goes out there and swings the golf sticks. Yep. All right, breaking news this morning. What's happened today? What do you got to know? Steph Curry suffered an ankle injury. Last night, the Warriors lost it. It's kind of a key loss, too. They lost to the Bulls. Curry left. So I got to believe we'll get an update today on the extent of his ankle injury. But, again, this could be significant. Karl Anthony Towns went down the other day with the meniscus. He is having surgery on that meniscus. He could end his season. And
did you see what Anthony Edwards did in that game last night?
I did not, no.
The block that he made, and he hit his head on the rim.
God bless him.
The dude elevated for a game-winning block, and it looked like someone just threw him into the basket.
No, I'll find it, though. No. So, I want to have a conversation on the rim. Let me give you let me give you one more headline. The Nuggets beat the Celtics last night, 115-109. So there's conversation that because athletes have gotten so much bigger, humans have gotten, they should raise the rim. You would screw up the game for a good 5 to 10 years. Like, I don't even know how you would do that. If you tell me I want to widen the football field, okay. We're going to widen basketball courts. Okay. I can't even think of something that would. You remember a few years ago they talked about widening golf holes for amateurs, making the hole bigger? This was a real conversation. That it would be more fun, not at the pro level, but the amateur level. So, I mean, the cup's like a cup, right? I mean, it's like the base of your coffee mug, right? But to widen it, like almost double.
Dude, give me like a kiddie pool in the middle of that green. Let's go.
But that's kind of what it would be like, right? Because you'd make more putts, it would be more fun. You'd make more birdies. It would keep you coming back. This was a real conversation. I'm trying to think of what in sports would impact the core of a game more than raising the rim in men's basketball. Well, everybody's dunking and now dudes are hitting their head. Guys who've grown up playing on a 10-foot rim, shooting. Like, can you imagine what it would do to Steph Curry? Dude's been, all of a sudden you're going to give him, 11-foot rim, a 12? What are we doing? We're going to 11? Where are we going? I think it's like, I understand the concept. It would be the worst idea. It would screw up the game for 5 to 10 years.
Well, you need a 16-foot rim for Victor Wembanyama.
Okay. But I mean, we're talking about simply impacting it for the inside game. But I mean, everybody who's grown up shooting a basketball has shot at a 10-foot rim.
A fair question would be, when would that start?
Well, you would want to start it wherever you start 10-foot rims now, right? Your kid's going to start playing and he's going to play on 8-foot rims.
That would just be a disaster.
Don't you think?
A bunch of middle schoolers on like a 12-foot rim.
Well, at some point you've got to bring it to a level, right? At what point do you up it? Now, like baseball, you play Little League, you play on 60-foot bases, and then you go, after you're 12, you go to 90-foot, you go to a full-size infield. That's age proportion. I get that. But at some point you're playing on the same scale as the big leaguers, right? Which is about 13 years old. I hear this not frequently, but not infrequently. Well, there's talk about raising the rim in basketball. I think that would impact that sport more than anything I can think about impacting a sport.
In the 90s, MTV had this program that kind of ran with the All-Star Games called Rock and Jock Sports.
Okay.
They had elevated rims.
Yeah.
The pros did not get close. They would make like 1 or 2 in the game on the 11 and 12-foot version. So it would be disastrous.
Well, and I don't know how you would even ease into this, right? Because at one point, boom, you would just change it. Its shooting percentages would go, I mean, I don't want to say in half, but damn near, right? Because guys on the inside would be able to own it. But, I mean, imagine, the shooting part of the game. You've not heard this conversation.
Not to that extent. Raising the rim in professional basketball.
You've never heard that?
I've heard it mentioned, but not a lot recently.
Yeah, I just think it's one of the worst ideas. I mean, I understand the concept. I understand where it's coming from. Well, it's too easy. Everybody can dunk. Yeah, all right, fair enough. And big guys dominate inside, and so you would change their skill level. They'd have to, instead of just powering and dunking, they'd have to. I get it.
There's not even really that Shaq-like presence in the NBA right now.
That's probably right. I mean,
Jokic doesn't dunk. Jokic is more triple doubles than dunks.
No, I agree. Wemby's a different cat. I mean, but how many 5-foot or 7'5" guys are there? Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Channel. Hi, Howie.
Good morning, gentlemen. Quick question: when good old Dr. Naismith, invented the game of basketball and hung that peach basket up Was it at 10 foot from the start? Has it always been at 10 foot?
Great question. I don't know the answer. I will find it for you. I don't know.
But, I don't know. Like, JJ, what do you do? Do you start implementing 10-foot rims when kids are 10 and then start carrying it through? Because, I don't feel like there would ever be a good time.
So when James Naismith nailed his peach basket to the running track in Springfield, Massachusetts in the year 1891, the official height of a basketball basket thenceforth became 10 feet. So it has been at that level since 1891.
And I don't know what to expect for the future. Is Wembanyama an anomaly, or are we destined to have more players of that skill set to come up in the game? I don't know what the answer to that one is, but that's a very intriguing question. But I want to touch on something earlier when we were talking about, you guys were talking about bets and covering bets and this and that, and people lose their minds. If you're betting more than you can afford to bet, you lose your mind because your team didn't cover or something. You need to examine what you're doing with your betting hobby, because my betting hobby is through the NFL season, and then I don't bet anymore till the NFL starts again.
It still sucks
and
to
that's
lose.
Just me.
It still sucks when you lose, especially when you lose like
and
that.
one last thing, Jeff. I think you are so spot on correct. I've been listening to the show like I always do all week long. Mashburn, House, and Patino have taken our program and made us relevant again. Thanks for taking my call.
See you, Howie. Thanks. No matter how much you can bet it, $10 on it. That's why you bet, right? To get the juices flowing a little bit. It still sucks to lose. Winning is almost always more fun. What do you look? I see you digging deep into this 10-foot basket thing.
I am actually. Right now, I'm looking up the average NBA player height and weight by year. And it actually seems that in 1987, it peaked out at 6'7".
Okay.
So there's been a slight decrease of league average.
Now, I would argue with you that their athleticism and like the dudes are jumping higher and they're bouncier, but it has been, so 1891 is 109 plus 24. So that's 133 years has been the same. Now, nothing's the same for 133 years, but I would argue this should be. I think if they up the height, how would anybody shoot? It would take a generation of dudes coming up shooting on the new baskets, right? Baseball players lose their mind if you change the composition of the wood in their bat. Oh my goodness, the baseball feels different, even though it weighs the same, and but this year's are stitched differently, right? They lose their mind. Can you imagine if you just fundamentally changed the parameters of the game? Now, you're going to tell me baseball's doing it, Jeff. They lengthen the bases, or they widen the bases, right? Which basically took off, I don't know, a half of an inch to an inch off of each base path, and somehow it's going to make plays, whatever. But I can't think of anything that would fundamentally change a game. And I don't even know if this is a proposal. I think this is more of a conversation than a proposal. But you guys don't hear it, huh? All right.
The only change I've really heard a lot about, and it's really just fan speculation, is adding a 4-point shot. But I've never been really on that train.
That seems so gimmicky to me.
It does. Like, if it's 4-point at half court, I don't know about that.
It's just so video gamey, all-star gamey, XFL-ish. That ain't broken, man. You know what I'm saying? That's, to me, that's doing stuff to do stuff.
That, yes, 100%.
All right. 505-246-0610. We will wrap you up, get you ready for your weekend. Everything you've got to know as you go through your Friday with DeCito and me and DC and JJ. I've been telling you for years about International Protective Service. I tell you about IPS because they've made a huge impact in our community, and I've trusted them to watch my home for years. International Protective Service. Why did I start? There was people very close to me had a home invasion and lived right, in the hood, and I reached out to Aaron and IPS, and they've been watching my home for years. I travel. When I travel, they come by. Well, they're by every day, but they come by. They'll pick up a package that's dropped off on the porch, so the porch pirates don't get it. They'll roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. If you need their mail picked up, newspapers, they'll do all that for you. They do exterior checks every day. I see them every day out there. They give me and my family peace of mind. And if something happens and the alarm's gone off, they were there within 7 minutes. They were making sure that everything's okay. Look, bad guys are on the increase. The good guys' numbers are decreasing. We know what's going on. IPS is that layer. It's an affordable layer of home security, private security that protects you, your family, and everything that you've worked so hard to build, including your business. Sign up, have them monitor your alarm, have them monitor your cameras, and have them look out for what you've built. IPS provides the manpower and the technology to protect you and your family and your property. It's a winning combination. They're at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420, online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action
morning. Russell Wilson evidently talking with the Steelers and the Giants. Justin Fields, according to this report, wherever this report came from. Where did it come from again?
That was NBC Chicago.
Is currently the odds-on favorite to be the Vikings next quarterback.
Okay. NBC Chicago is telling Minnesota, hey, take our quarterback, give us a pick.
Give us
Wink,
number
wink.
one while you're at it.
Well,
Wink,
the
wink.
odds are actually from a sports book. So they just reported on what
They're the ones who really know, actually. The Nuggets beat the Celtics last night, 115-109. Steph Curry injured his ankle in a Warriors loss to the Bulls, and Karl Anthony Towns had surgery, or is going to have surgery to repair his meniscus. Dalton Schultz called the Cowboys a zoo, and the Mountain West Conference is going to a 20-game schedule in basketball. Currently, they play 18, so you will play everybody twice until in the offseason when they announce they expand and they add like Gonzaga or St. Mary's, and then they're going to go, oh, well, wait, now what? We just went to a 20-game schedule. They're not adding until everything settles.
No.
But, and look, I don't know what's happening with
Mountain West isn't going to be the Mountain West for that much longer anyway.
Right. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, are we looking at another 2 years, and then are you going to be the Pac Mountain West, Pac whatever? I don't know. I have no idea. But, I mean, this is the way it's going to be next year. San Diego State's still going to be really good, and their fans can cry all they want. We want out of this damn league, and you're going to get out and go take all your same buddies and go and just fly a different flag. It's going to somehow. It's
exactly what's going to happen.
And it's going to somehow make them feel better. By the way, it's going to somehow, except for when they have to go to those damn mountain regions and go to freaking elevation, because we're above having it. By the way, if they were in the Pac-12 the way as constructed, they still would have had to go to Colorado, and they still would have had to go to Utah.
They would have.
God, they would have moaned about that. They should probably not have that. That'd be part of their entry. You know what? We don't play there. Where Dion comes to us, we don't go to Dion.
They're in the Big West then.
We're San Diego State. We do not go there. All right, here's the other thing you're rooting for tonight. If you are a Lobo fan, you are rooting for Boise State tonight, right? Boise State plays at San Diego State. If Boise State beats the Aztecs, then you are still alive for a first-round bye in the conference tournament if you beat Utah State tomorrow. So that's, I mean, right?
At this point, to me, it's all about Utah State. You have to play on Wednesday, whatever. Like,
but you don't. If I mean, there's still a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. That's what I'm telling you. Text line: raising the rim in the NBA is a stupid idea. Their NBA players are supposed to be able to all dunk. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea too. I do. All right, what am I watching this weekend, dude? I mean, obviously tomorrow night's big. New Mexico United's opener. You excited about that? You're going to Vegas. What time's your flight tomorrow?
I will be in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're going to Vegas tomorrow. He's going to Vegas. You guys are going to hang out in Vegas?
Let's hang out in Vegas.
I'm not going to Vegas tomorrow. I got to go to Santa Fe tomorrow. I got lacrosse tomorrow. State basketball tournament starts.
Ooh, what a week!
Girls tonight. I got a game on Pro. You find me around the NFH. What is it? NHFS? What NFHS? I'm on the NFHS. I got Academy Girls versus Deming Girls. It's 12-5 game. 4A. I get to call a game tonight.
Fun,
dude. I haven't called a game in a minute. You think I'll know how to do it? I don't want to embarrass myself.
I think you'll be all right.
I got my chart. It's already builded. So you got state tournaments tomorrow. Girls go tonight. Boys go tomorrow. So you got that. And then next week, the Pit and the Rio Rancho Event Center will be popping. And I'm looking forward to that. You've got all the hoops you can eat. You've got Jack's tournament. Isn't that what's going on in golf this week? I think we got kind of good golf to watch, too. So it's all there for you. The big one, of course, tomorrow, Lobo men closing out their season at Utah State. Yes, it's Arnold Palmer Invitational. Sorry, it's not Jack's tournament. It's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Shane Lowry is leading, by the way. -7 over Emiliano Grillo. George Spieth's right there. Thanks to Kenny Thomas. He was here today. You can hear him tomorrow on the postgame show after Lobo men's basketball. Jim Rome show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 men ons here at 4, and we're back with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. on Monday, where you'll be in Vegas, huh?
Bright and early.
Safe travels, man. Safe travels to you. Adrian, great week. It looked great on the TV side. DC, great weekend. Dicito. See you, Dicito. Have a great weekend. Safe travels. Be good to each other, please. Have a great, safe weekend. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you on Monday.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.